What's up, YouTube? This is Mr. Fett. Wanted to talk today about this Guild X-375. Guild's an interesting company. They started in '52. They were started by a guy who owned a music store, and I think he was a guitarist. He teamed up with some people who had been working for Epiphone. Epiphone moved their factory from New York City to Philadelphia. And there were some people who didn't want to make the move, so they started a company with this guy. And they called it Guild. They brought with them experience making some various Epiphone models. One of them was very similar to what became this X350 or X375. The 350 is a sunburst. The 375 is the blonde. Later on, they start calling the blonde the 350B, X350B. But this one is in the sound hole labeled X375, and it's a very early one. It's serial indicates that it's from '53, but they didn't appear in the catalog until '54. So I don't know what to make of that discrepancy, but it's a pretty early one. It's serial number 1260. What's cool about these early 350s, 375s, it's a longer scale length. It's 25 and a half, I think. I'll try to put some of that info in the comments. But it's not a standard, short scale Gibson scale length. So it gives a different feel, gives a different vibe, gives a different tone. It has something else that's kind of neat, I think is cool. I'm not a huge archtop guy, but it's got a spruce top. I don't know if you can tell. You should be able to see, it doesn't look like a maple top. It does have maple sides and a maple back. But the top is spruce, like what you'd find on on most acoustic guitars. It's got 3 pickups, and they look like P90s, but they're called Franz pickups. I guess they're constructed very similar to the P90s. They say they do have some different tonal characteristics. I haven't been able to really hear them yet, and I'll talk about why that is in a minute. But just some of the other features on these pickups. This is what they look like when you're looking down and playing them. Notice that the covers have 3 different covers. They're 3 different width covers, which is kind of cool. They're not just one size fits all. The middle is a different size from the bridge and the neck, so that's pretty cool. It's a Brazilian rosewood fingerboard. Some of the other features that differentiate this from later ones, you'll see that the tuners, a couple things. There's no serial number here, and the tuners are plain. On later ones, you'll see that they have a more fancy engraved tuners on them. The logo changes later on. Later on, you start to get a pickguard that says Guild on it. And some of these things are features that'll help you tell any early 50s from later 50s, 60s models. The early one didn't say Guild on the pickguard. The headstock is not bound. You typically always see the white covers on the blondes, but on the later ones, like when you see Barry Gibbs playing his push button knobs here are white, whereas this one's black. So you'll see on some of the 350s, especially the ones from 53, they have the different, they don't have this, I think this is called a Harp Tailpiece. I don't know why this one has it. You know, again, I don't know why it has it, and why some do and some don't. But that's kind of cool. Sometimes you'll see a different one though. The next thing I really want to talk about is what these pickups sound like, and why I said it's hard to tell if you first pick one of these up. The reason that is, if you take these screws out and look at what's in here, they've got capacitors built right into this switching system. So even though you've got a volume and a tone, and you could, if you wanted to, you could roll off some treble with the tone, they're already doing that for you with these, with whichever one you select. So you know, when you pick the neck pickup, it's pretty woofy, you know, and even the bridge and the middle pickup. I mean, to me, they all sound a little muffled. So what I've done, I've set up kind of a sound on the pedal board. There's a phaser going and a fuzz face, and you know, I want you to hear what it sounds like clean. Don't worry, but I'm just gonna. So this is a sound that should be. It's a fuzz face going into a phaser. You should be getting a pretty heavily distorted tone, and instead, this is what you get. That's the middle and the bridge pickup. These two pickups. It's the bridge. Real quick, just for comparison's sake, I'm gonna play. I'm gonna take the chord out and put it in a Jaguar. The Jaguar has those tone circuits. Some people might be familiar with. If you can have them off on the Johnny Marr one that I have, you can have them off, or you can switch to the Johnny Marr has both pickups in parallel, and that has its own separate circuit, that pickup selector, and you can put in the filter there, and it's basically a I think it's a high pass filter, so it rolls off a lot of the low end. So I'm going to show you that basically this guitar's default kind of sounds like that one when you've got the switch engaged, but on this one there's no way to turn it off. So, all right, so this is both pickups in parallel. There's no tone switch engaged, and this is the same setup that I was just playing. That one had the volume and tone maxed. Same here, volume and tone, and I'm on both pickups. If I switch to the serial where I've got the tone circuit engaged.